Hello, in this video I'm going to solve the following problem for you. This is question number 3 from this paper. Let us read the question first. The diagram shows graphs with equations y equals to f of x and y equals to g of x. So here, this is the graph of the function y equals to f of x, and this is the graph of the function y equals to g of x. Describe fully a sequence of two transformations which transforms the graph of y equals to f of x to y equals to g of x. This question brings you 4 points. That would be a good idea if you pause the video at this point and try to solve the problem yourself first. Okay, now let us see what can we do here. So if you compare this original graph with the graph we're supposed to reach at, it is not hard to see that this graph is actually being stretched along the y-axis by a factor of 2. Why factor of 2? Because, for example, the height of this horizontal line is 3, but now this horizontal line is at the height 6. So this is a motivation that might be this is the case, that I am stretching this graph by a factor of 2 along the y-axis. But of course that is not enough. For example, let us say that I multiply the graph of f of x by a factor of 2. So what will happen? This line, which is at height 3, will go at height 6 without going left or right. Okay, so that will happen like this. So I will have this. Okay, and of course it is clear that this point also goes by a factor of 2 here. Okay, but now let us say that what happens to this point. This point is at minus 1. When I multiply it by 2, it becomes minus 2. So this point will actually go down here, which is actually good because you see that this point is at height minus 2. And what about this point? This point is with y coordinate minus 3. When I multiply it by 2, it becomes at minus 6, which is also correct. So everything seems in order. So what we do, we actually sketch this graph after being multiplied by 2. Okay? So what will happen? This point will go there, and this point will actually go at minus 2, and this point actually goes at minus 6. So if I now connect these points, I have this line here, and then I will have this line here. Okay, so that is the graph of the function f of x after being multiplied by 2. But of course, I can immediately see that in order to get this graph, I have to shift this brownish graph 6 units to the left. So it means that I have to replace x with x plus 6 in the equation of this brownish graph. So in principle, I started with f of x, so let me change my color. I started with f of x, then I multiplied f of x by 2. That's the first transformation. I am stretching the original graph by a factor of 2 along the y-axis. And then I replace x with x plus 6 in order to be able to shift this brownish curve 6 units to the left. So you know that if you want to move to the left, you have to add to the x, not subtract. So that's a little bit counterintuitive. So, okay. So if I want to describe the transformations, the first transformation is multiplication by 2, multiplying the whole function by 2, and then replacing the argument x with x plus 6. But these two transformations are commutative. So if you explain it in that way, that's correct. But you can also do it the other way around. For example, you can first shift 6 units to the left by replacing x with x plus 6. And then you multiply by 2, stretching along the y-axis by a factor of 2. And as you see that, you will come up with the same result at the end. Okay, the way that I showed it in the picture, So you see that you could in principle shift 6 units to the left first. So if you want, I can also draw that. So this line will be shifted 6 units to the left, so it becomes this. So let me change my color. So this will give you this first, okay? And then you go here, yes? And then you go here. So if I first shift 6 units to the left, I get this purple actually graph, and then I multiply by 2, so this purple graph will actually be overlapping exactly on this graph. So it doesn't matter in which order you do it. Okay, below this video you will find the link to one of my videos in which I actually go through these kinds of transformations in more detail. I think that will also be useful for you if you want to understand these kinds of transformations related to the graphs. I hope that this video was useful for you. Until the next video, be safe and goodbye. Thank you.